47% of Republicans would still vote for Trump even if implicated in Epstein's crimes. Survey found a majority of GOP voters said they would either stand by Trump or weren't sure, even if he were officially linked to the late sex offender's crimes. July 2025 survey found that 47% of Republican voters said they'd still support U.S. President Donald Trump even if he were officially implicated in the late Jeffrey Epstein's sex crimes. The question asked of around 1,000 American voters was, if Donald Trump was officially implicated in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking activities, would this make you more likely to vote for another party, or would it not affect your vote for Donald Trump? 47% of Republican respondents said such a revelation would not affect their vote, though based on other polling data this appears to reflect voter loyalty more than approval of the alleged actions. In early August 2025, a claim circulated on social media that 47% of Republican voters said they would not change their support for U.S. President Donald Trump even if he were officially implicated in Jeffrey Epstein's sex crimes. Trump's past association with the late sex offender has long fueled speculation, though no formal charges have linked Trump to Epstein's criminal activities. In early July 2025, the Department of Justice shared a memo stating that its review found no incriminating client list and no credible evidence that Epstein had blackmailed prominent people. One TikTok post archived on the topic had a caption reading, 47% of Republican voters said they'd still support Trump even if he were officially implicated in Epstein's sex crimes. What the F*********. The claim also spread on social media platforms including Facebook, X, Reddit and Instagram. In short, the claim was true. A survey conducted in late July 2025 found that 47% of Republican voters said Trump being implicated in Epstein's criminal activities would not affect their vote. While some viral posts framed this as proof of continued support, the poll specifically asked whether the allegation would influence Republicans' voting behavior, not whether respondents condoned the alleged actions. The statistic came from a poll the Canadian market research company Ledger conducted in partnership with the media companies 338 Canada and Meg9 Media between July 25th and 27th, 2025. It was published on July 30th. The survey explored the attitudes of a representative sample of around 1,000 American voters on several topics, including the potential political fallout if Trump were officially implicated in Epstein's sex trafficking activities. If Donald Trump was officially implicated in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking activities, would this make you more likely to vote for another party, or would it not affect your vote for Donald Trump? The question was asked only of respondents who identified as Republican voters, making up a subset of the full sample. According to the poll, 47% of Republican voters said Trump being implicated would not affect their vote. Meanwhile, 27% said they'd be more likely to vote for another party and 26% were unsure or preferred not to answer. A side note in the report added, among those who say they would vote for the Republican candidate in 2028, 23% report they would be more likely to vote for another party if Donald Trump were officially implicated in Jeffrey Epstein's activities. The survey revealed additional insights by region, age and gender. For instance, Republicans age 18 to 34 were the most likely to say they would vote for another party if Trump were implicated, 61%, and older Republicans 55 plus were the least likely to be swayed, with 58% saying it wouldn't affect their vote. Additionally, male respondents were more likely than female respondents to say it would not affect their vote, 55% versus 38%. Closing parenthesis. Other surveys on Republican voters' views regarding Trump and the Epstein case show notable division and skepticism among party supporters. For instance, a mid-July 2025 Quinnipiac University poll found Republicans split on Trump's handling of the Epstein files, -40% approved, 36% disapproved, and 24% remained undecided. Overall, 63% of all voters disapproved of how the Trump administration managed the Epstein case. An Economist YouGov poll found 45% of Republican voters approved of Trump's handling of the Epstein investigation, with 25% disapproving. Despite this division, surveys have shown that many Republican voters strongly desire transparency. According to the same poll, the vast majority of Americans, 89% of Democrats and 73% of Republicans, believe that the government should release all documents it has about the Epstein case. A Reuters Ipsos poll showed that among Republicans, 35% approved of Trump's handling of the case, compared to 29% who disapproved and the rest who said they weren't sure or didn't answer the question. All in all, the claim that 47% of Republican voters said they would still support Trump if he were implicated in the Epstein case was accurate, but it reflected voter loyalty more than approval of the alleged actions. Other polls showed Republicans were divided on Trump's handling of the case and broadly supported full disclosure of the so-called Epstein files. Other Epstein-related rumors we've investigated include a claim that Trump once said, "I never had the privilege of going to his island," and a 2002 photo allegedly showing 22-year-old Chanta Davies, an accuser of Epstein, giving former President Bill Clinton a shoulder